All right. What is up, y'all? Will here with Schedulefly. This is the Restaurant Owners Uncorked podcast brought to you by us here at Schedulefly. Super simple, web-based restaurant employee scheduling software backed by legendary customer service and all at a low price point. If you were on pencil and paper, Excel, Google Sheets, we will make life a lot easier. We will help you save money on budgeting your labor, and we will make your employees a lot happier by giving them an app which has all their schedule and communication and shift trays and time off requests all in one place. Or if you're on another scheduling software, you probably haven't heard of us. We're a bootstrap business. We've been doing this 17 years, and we've grown to 5,000 customers through word of mouth. Give us a shout or give us a shot. Go over to schedulefly.com. My personal cell phone number is on there. You can call it. You can text it. It is a flip phone, and it will take calls and texts, and I'm happy to wrap with you anytime and see what you're doing and see if we can help. We have a 30-day free trial, and we have a monthly pricing model, no contracts, no BS, none of that kind of stuff, no nickel and diamond. So schedulefly.com, give us a shot. That is it about Schedulefly. Let's get into the Restaurant Owners Uncorked podcast. And a great opportunity today to talk to Trace Miller. And I'm looking forward to this conversation. Trace, just take a second to introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Happy to be here. My name is Trace Miller. I'm the founder, CEO of Konala. We are on a mission to make eating healthy as delicious and convenient as possible.
Eating healthy as delicious and convenient as possible. And Konala is a combination of your dog's names, right? Is that right?
Yes, it is. Kona and Nala. They're both rescue mutts. One from Texas, one from Hawaii. And one's kind of my wife's dog. One's mine. We're very competitive there, but combine their names to come up with the name of the restaurant.
Love it. Well, listen, I don't know if you've listened to this podcast. We kind of free flow it and just take the conversation where it goes. So I don't have a script. I don't have a list of questions I'm going to ask you other than I ask every guest just to tell me the backstory about how and when and why you got initially started in hospitality.
Yeah, of course. How long are your sessions? I don't know how in-depth you want me to get on that answer.
We do like an hour. I mean,
cool. Yeah. So I'll start with kind of the business history and then kind of work back from there. But I
Sure.
in the restaurant industry about 8.5 years ago, started with a food truck in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And it was always a means to an end to open a bar. My wife's dream was to own a bar. She has been in the industry since she was 16 years old, started working at Chili's, breweries, clubs, bars, restaurants, Hard Rock Cafe, all sorts of things, and just loves the industry. I had no experience in the industry. I worked as a server in Hawaii for like 4 months, but no real experience in it. Definitely not in the kitchen or ownership. But we always loved cooking together. So we started a food truck kind of as that means to an end to open a bar. So we started a food truck in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, 8.5 years ago. After about 5 months, we had the opportunity to buy a bar in Post Falls, Idaho, bordering city. And I'd always wanted to get into real estate. So real estate ownership, real estate development, architecture, engineering, always been a passion. My grandpa owned his own architecture firm. He did real estate development of malls, office buildings, Home Depots, and that was kind of my passion and what I wanted to do. So this bar was an opportunity for us to buy the real estate and own our first bar. So we both kind of got our dream right away with that. So we moved our food truck to being parked in front of the bar. And just opened that. Just as kids, we were 25 years old as we opened these things, and we started getting pretty good at it. We won Best Burger in Idaho 3 years in a row, Best Bar in Idaho 3 years in a row. We started buying some surrounding real estate, expanded the bar, added on to its footprint, added a huge outdoor patio. We started buying other real estate and developing some luxury residential, some vacant lots in the area. So we both got our dream really early on. And it was as we started thinking bigger about what do we want to do. One of my grandpa's things they always taught me was that the best business is solve a problem. And our business of bar and food truck did not really solve any problems. It's just burgers, fries, alcohol. It's not even something that really aligns with our lifestyle or passion. So we went back to the drawing board of what do we love to do? We live a healthy lifestyle, health and wellness, and we wanted to solve a problem in that space. We got good at food. We wanted to stay in food. So what's a food solution that could solve that problem? And we came up with the mission to make eating healthy as delicious and convenient as possible. There's two key aspects to that. It's got to taste good. No one wants to eat healthy if it tastes like crap, tastes bland. And then it's got to be convenient. So it's got to be fast, and it's got to be convenient access. All of our locations that we have so far have a drive-through. So we're solving that convenience and taste thing while simplifying what eating healthy means. We focus on a high protein, well balanced meal that comes from mostly whole foods. So that's kind of the how we got to this end product, or that solving that problem of a healthy, convenient option. But the inspiration for that's where the long story part comes in, is it goes
Yeah.
back to my childhood. So when I was 2, I started having seizures. And on my 3rd birthday, I had my first grand mal seizure. And at that peak there, I was having over 100 seizures a day. I had to wear a helmet everywhere for a couple of years. And doctors all said that I would die before my 13th birthday. I would never learn how to read, write, hold a conversation, and I would just die of a continuous grand mal seizure. And there was no real solution. I was kind of doped up on meds and just waiting for that point, kind of brain dead. And then my mom found this doctor in Mexico that said, I think I can cure him. So obviously, when a doctor tells you that after everyone else has lost hope, then you try whatever it takes. So we flew down to Mexico, started treatment with her, went off all meds, and through a combination of some technology and primarily nutrition, I was completely cured of Lennox-Gastaut epilepsy by 7 years old. First person to be cured of it with no ongoing symptoms. So I had a very unique childhood that shaped my whole upbringing, and why I'm so passionate about eating healthy. It's because it literally saved my life. So growing up, I had to eat a very strict diet all the way until I was about 15, 16 years old. I'm sure that's bringing up a bunch of questions here. But
Yeah.
it's a pretty wild story, but that's really the reason for the passion of health and wellness, is it goes all the way back to childhood and just how I was raised. And I've seen the power of what nutrition can do in helping people feel better, just live longer. And then when after high school, I joined the army, and I was teaching people in the military how to eat better, lose weight, perform better, and then really got more into helping people eat better after the military, in going back to college, playing soccer in college, and just anyone I worked with that worked for us, whatever, and just started loving teaching people how to eat better through meal prep, and prioritizing high protein, well balanced macros, that you're getting your food from, or all your nutrients, your protein from whole foods. And I never charged for it, just loved helping people do it. So it was just kind of natural when it came to what's that big business that solves a problem. My wife and I have done meal prep together, and I've done meal prep for about 15 years. And I've always loved teaching people this. So our menu is inspired by meal prep. It's just a high protein, you got your carbs, your veggies, some fruits, high protein, whole food menu, but a very simple menu so we can focus on that high quality, high protein. That's the reason that we got to where we are now.
Wow. There's a lot to unpack there. I want to get into, I'm super fascinated with you mean your origin story with having this sort of hopeless outcome, and your mom, as any parent would do, probably desperately trying to find somebody that could give you all a different answer.
Yeah, she never gave up. She's the main reason for that. It was she was always researching. She's a athletic trainer, physical therapist, and just has always had education around that. But she was always reading books. She was anything that anyone would send her, any article, any book, any research, anyone that would listen, trying to find it. And this it was just one of her friends that sent her this book by it was Dr. Hulda Clark. That it was the one that helped cure me. and it just clicked. She treated it as parasite driven. So we zap the parasite and then neutralize it through nutrition.
So it was parasite
I
driven.
got bit in the face by a dog, and that's what we found out. It never really clicked until working with her. That never that was what caused it. So I have a little scar here and one under my eyebrow, one on my cheek, from when I got bit in the face, and we just never thought anything of it. It was just a kid that pulled a dog's tail and then bit me in the face and didn't really think anything of it. But that was the parasite that caused all of it.
So all these doctor visits that you did here before that, there was no thought that
Solution. Yeah, none of them treated it as parasite driven. None of them thought about that from the dog bite, and none of them even had that. There's restrictions, things that they weren't allowed to do. And this doctor in Mexico, there's a lot of stuff is accepted practice now. Actually, most of it. But that's why she practiced in Mexico City rather than in the U.S. It was more experimental, and she was one of those ones that focused on nutrition, where the answer in the States is usually drugs.
not only is it usually drugs, but we don't, even to this day, if I'm not mistaken, we really don't teach nutrition as a solution in medical school.
Right. Yeah. So they just changed that. So the new Make America Healthy, RFK, they just started to require for the first time some actual hours on nutrition study for doctors. So it's a start. But yeah, there's a problem with treating the symptom rather than the cause, and she treated the cause.
I think we're great when like if you need a heart transplant or something, like we can do all this, like where there is no option or whatever, or removing a brain tumor. But what we're not good at is well, you said it, understanding the root cause, and we just treat symptoms.
And I would agree, and that's actually what kind of brings us to like the mission of our entire concept is that I think that, I mean, the latest CDC stats, I didn't see if there was any from this year, but the 2024 CDC stats was 74% of Americans are overweight, 42% are obese. The average American consumes over 3,600 calories a day with less than 20 minutes of physical activity per day. So we're over consuming on calories, under consuming on exercise. So it's an overall lifestyle change, but I think it starts with food. So our mission being to prioritize high protein. I think that's probably one of the biggest problems. There's kind of a convenience revolution that everyone just wants everything as fast as possible, as convenient as possible.
Yeah.
So we have to be as fast and convenient as the unhealthy concepts that are providing those low protein, high fat, high calorie meals that people are getting. No one really plans for a night out at McDonald's. I always say that you're tired, you're hungry, you forgot to go grocery shopping, or you just don't want to cook, and you get off a long work day, you're headed home, and you see those golden arches. It's just conveniently placed. It's fast. You go in and you get it. You don't feel good afterwards, but I think it's just too convenient. It's too easy to eat unhealthy. So I can't wait to see more concepts and get into more communities ourselves that just make it easier to eat healthy. I think it just has to be as convenient and as easy to eat healthy as it is to eat the unhealthy that we've gotten to over the last few decades.
Yeah. My problem is I want to eat healthy, but I don't have a quick way to do it. And that's what you're solving. Even if I'm hitting McDonald's because I don't see a healthy option or whatever. And even if I intellectually understand that I should, what do? I'm tired. I'm stressed. I've had a long day. So you're making it simple and easy, and you're drive-through only. Is that right?
No, we have one of them that's a drive-through only. We have one of our first location was drive-through and walk-up only. So picture like a Dutch Bros, but with protein bowls. So we do have that drive-through only, but then we've done Carl's Jr. conversions, and we're doing build-to-suits. We're doing build-outs of old concepts or build-outs of new construction, multi-tenant buildings, all sorts of options. But the first one is drive-through only, and then we have the modular partner that helps build all of those drive-through only the concepts. I think those are just I'm obsessed with those. I don't want to nerd out too much on the real estate stuff. Depending on what your
We
listener.
can talk about the real estate piece. I mean, it's a very interesting topic, and it's something that's definitely on everybody's mind, for sure.
Yeah, we can come back to that. That would be a rabbit hole for sure. But yeah, we're the drive-through, I think, is one of the focuses anywhere we can do a drive-through, but we're really considering anywhere there's walking traffic. It's convenience. So if it's convenient in a convenient shopping center or co-tenancy, something that doesn't have a drive-through, we'll consider that too. But the drive-through, I think, just makes it even easier. It's more about the visibility and convenient access. So it's got to be just as easy as those other concepts that we're just talking about. And it's got to be fast. So it's not just having a convenient location. Our average order is made in under 3 minutes. So, you can get there and, McDonald's is going to be fast. You're not going to be waiting. You could even have a drive-through, but if you're slow, people aren't going to go there as often because
Right.
they're going to have to wait. So I think it's the speed aspect, whether it's got drive-through or not. It's still just as fast.
How do you balance high quality, healthy, fresh food and speed so
There's
well?
simplicity. So there's one of my favorite sayings is simple scales, fancy fails. There's I have I'm ruthlessly trying to simplify everything that we do. So you can either have a large menu with low quality or a small, very focused menu with high quality. And I don't think that it's possible to have great costs, great profitability, large menu, and a high quality product. You have to, what we've chosen to focus on is a high quality product. We're not on a race to the bottom. We don't want to be the cheapest. We want to be the best. So we're not racing to the bottom for pricing. We refuse to compromise on quality, so we'll adjust our prices accordingly. But we focus on a high quality product served quickly. So that's one of the things I learned from that food truck industry was I love the food truck business and that they all have such simple menus that they do to a very high quality. It's focused on one menu type, and they are able to keep profitability, keep prices in control, and focus on just a really high quality product. And I think that's always been more important to me. And there's one of my mentors owns a large supplement company, and they are not cheap. They're not a cheap supplement company, but what he talks about is they refuse to sacrifice on quality, so they'll adjust their prices. If you adjust your prices and raise your prices, maybe it makes a customer eat there less, but they will still eat there. Or for his supplements, maybe they'll buy them less, but they will still use them. If you sacrifice your quality and drop your quality just to focus on costs or profitability, you may lose that customer forever. I'd rather have them come by instead of that daily or once a week customer. They come back, instead of daily, they go to weekly, or instead of weekly, they go to once a month. They know that they're still going to get that same high quality product and experience. I'd rather have that than the one that comes back and sees that you sacrificed all of your quality just to keep prices, and then they never come back.
Is your mentor Paul Saladino?
No, it's Andy Frisella.
You know who Paul Saladino is?
I do not.
He used to call, well, he's a doctor. He started out as, I think he was called like Carnivore MD, but now he's just Paul Saladino. But he was like really into the carnivore thing, but then he realized that was like too extreme. And so he's where it's like, high protein with like healthy fruits and, vegetables, like things, raw milk, honey, blah, blah, all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, I orbit around that space personally. It's like I've learned, I'm 51 now, and I did not give a crap what I ate for the first 2/3 of my life. Actually got completely changed everything when I watched, this is kind of a tangent, but I watched Riding Giants and I saw Laird Hamilton and I was like,
Yeah.
who the hell is this dude? And I started following him.
Monster. He's awesome.
Oh, he's a freaking beast. And he's like 60 now, and he's still like just doing all this crazy stuff. But anyway, I read his book, and he talked about, what you put in your body. Like, it literally is like that. It's like, you don't drive up to a gas pump with if you put diesel fuel in there, that car ain't going to go if it's not diesel. And you have to put the right stuff in there. And then I started really getting into it and yada, yada. I just came to where I'm like, okay, like if I view it as an investment, right? Not a cost. Like, to me, I'm willing to spend more on high quality food because I think about second order effects and downstream impact of, like, I don't ever go to the doctor because I don't have to, because I'm not sick, because I'm eating well and I feel good and I get to exercise and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like everyone's always heard the food is fuel or you are what you eat, all that stuff. But now it's kind of taken less literally and taken advantage of that. People don't actually focus on it enough anymore. But yeah, we focus on, I would say high protein, but it's really just the proper amount of protein. So to educate people on it, it's really just well-balanced meals that
Yeah.
we serve. And that's the inspiration from meal prep is well-balanced meals. And the way to get people to realize the difference between this and others is to call it high protein, but really it's just proper amount of protein. So our average bowl has 46 grams of protein and just over 600 calories. So based on an average size person getting, the gram of protein per pound of body weight, and based on a 3 squares a day, 2,000 calorie diet. That's pretty much what our average meal is, including with the white rice base. So it's a very simple way to do that. Ours isn't build your own kind of walk the line style. It's just, here's our bowl. You can customize as you want, mix and match sauces, swap out a meat, whatever. But it's kind of already curated as just, these are our set bowls with those toppings. So you know your macros. Our macronutrients, the protein, carbs, and fat, calories, everything is on the menu for all items. So we're transparent with all of that. And the way to simplify it is just educating people that high protein is just the proper amount. And it's really just well-balanced meals. That's the way. So I don't really believe in a one-size-fits-all diet of high protein, low fat, or high fat, low carb, whatever. It's just, you can customize that if you want. You want low carbs, go over greens instead of the rice. If you want you want more fiber, get the brown rice instead of white rice. It's really customizable. If you're bigger, need more protein, whatever, do double protein. So it's able to be modified to whatever people need. But it's I want to simplify the message, simplify what eating healthy looks like.
Simplicity scales.
Simple scales, fancy fails.
Simple scales, fancy fails. It's a great way to look at it. Simplifying. It's hard to keep things simple. You have to make tough decisions. You're making decisions for the consumer, but it also, people have decision fatigue. So I literally just went into this place. I won't say where, but I went into this place earlier today, and the person in front of me said, "There's too many options." Literally said, "There's too many options." Like, it's like, tell me what to get.
That's my wife. That's I'll make her, if we're going to a place with a big menu, she's got to look up the menu on the way there.
Yeah. She said, "There's too many options. Tell me what to get." In other words, like, we're making decisions all the time. And, there's this guy, Barry Schwartz, psychologist, who talks, he gave this speech called The Paradox of Choice. It's great that we have lots of choices, but we're overwhelmed with so many choices all the time that a lot of times, it's what Steve Jobs did with the freaking iPhone. It's like, don't like, tell the customer what they want. They don't want to have to think about it. Just make decisions and keep it simple and tell them what they want.
He's one of the ones that's got a bunch of great quotes, great mindset around simplification. And he used to always say that the product is perfect when there's nothing left to take away, not when there's nothing left to add. So if you can simplify it all the way, there's nothing left that we can take away. Even when they presented the iPhone to him for the first time, and it has just the one home button, he said, "Too many buttons." So he's just always trying to take away everything that they possibly could. And that's what we do. That's how, the only way to focus on a high quality at scale over long term is to focus on quality and customer experience over just adding on to get more top line sales.
Via negativa, addition by subtraction.
Yep.
You ever heard the quote about Michelangelo, and they're like, "How did you make David? How did you sculpt David?" And he's like, "It was because he started with a block, right?" He's like, "It's easy. I just took away everything that wasn't him."
It's easy after all the things that he did. What was it? How many cadavers did he uh, work on? It was like 400 cadavers that he took apart in order to learn about the human body to get to that point of muscle
Yeah,
striations, everything to come up with that too. So it was through, preparation and a bunch of other things as well. But yeah, he did talk about just taking away all that's not necessary.
taking away all that's not necessary, but that's hard, dude. I mean, like you have to have a lot of discipline to do that because things aren't going like, oh, what could we do? Well, we could add this to create more revenue. And you just mentioned this, like focusing on top line revenue. It can get dangerous because then you take something that was simple and look, I mean, in our industry, just not like software in general, like it's like so many software, like they start simple and then, oh, we got to, and then all of a sudden it's complicated and you just want, what about, I remember when it was simple. I liked it more when it was simple. I mean, listen, I roll with this, man. Like this is my,
Oh man,
like, I am all about
flip
like,
phone.
give me enough technology, but just enough to do the job. And like, I don't want all the other stuff, period. So I'm a little bit extreme about it, but I do value that a lot. I do. And I love what you're doing. How many locations do y'all have, Trace?
We have just 3 corporate locations open now. We just launched franchising this year. We sold our first franchise in February of this year, 2025. We have 3 more stores that'll be opening in April 2026. Probably about 10 more in 2026 total. And we've got 45 stores in development now from California to New Jersey.
You coming to North Carolina?
Eventually, no franchisees there yet, but I actually used to live in North Carolina. So I was stationed at Fort Bragg, so I'd
I
be
was,
excited to get back that way for sure. Where are you in North Carolina?
well, we'll say Charlotte. I live in a little town called Waxhaw, just south of Charlotte.
Okay, yeah, Charlotte's a target for sure. Charlotte, Raleigh, I'd love to be in that area.
Yeah, you would do well in Charlotte for sure. A lot of health conscious folks here, and yeah, I mean Charlotte's growing like crazy. Charlotte, Rock Hill, South Carolina, Fort Mill, South Carolina. Where Charlotte bleeds over the state lines. So okay, well, congratulations then on all the growth opportunities you have through franchising. Let's talk a little bit about that because franchising is no easy thing. FTDs and all that comes with like managing that. And then one thing I'm always curious about is how do you, I imagine you have a good process for this. How do you ensure that a franchisee is the right fit? Because what matters most is that these franchisees are, obviously like taking a franchise fee is great, but what you want is an enduring legacy institution that grows and that these franchisees are successful. What's the criteria that you're looking for to make sure you got the right person or
I
team?
mean, it takes about a year to get them open, and we didn't sell our first ones till February of this year. So none of our franchisees are open. That'll be a lot of them next year. So I can't really speak on it from experience, but just from the talking to everybody that I learn with or learn from that's been there, done that for thousands of locations, whatever. There's no one has ever said that they've got it figured out completely because they're still it's dealing with people. So it's the best educated guess, having well-defined criteria for those franchise owners, and then you'll still get it wrong. So I wish there was an answer that was just, yes, this is how you perfect it and you'll never make a mistake, but I'm sure we'll make mistakes. I love the ones that we have so far, and I'm excited to find other like-minded ones. Especially early on in franchising, like as young of a brand as we are. A lot of these guys, they call them franchisee pioneers, the pioneer franchisees that they're going to help shape it. I mean, we're going to learn with each other. We have well-defined processes for all of it, but then there's still things that are going to be wrong, or even just things that they're going to come up with that are great ideas. Some of the best ideas of even the biggest franchises, like McDonald's, some of the best ideas, even for menu items or equipment, whatever, have come from franchisees. So it's listening to each other, having the franchisee profitability above all else, making sure that people align with our mission, our values, which are also clearly defined. And then we're only selling multi-unit deals to multi-unit experienced operators. So they have either operated multiple stores and opened multiple restaurants themselves and partnered with someone that has the money, or they are multi-unit franchisees of other concepts. We have franchisees that are from Crumble, Subway, Jersey Mike's, Alpha Graphics, a bunch of other large franchise systems, that they up to 120 unit operators. So they have that experience, and they just align with our mission and our menu, our offering, and our team. So I think it's really just finding the people that we would enjoy working with. We have them all meet the team, try the food, and they've got the experience side down. So they already know how to build businesses. And it's just teaching them how to build our business.
Yeah. Okay. Multi-unit and experienced franchisees. Yeah, it seems to be there's a lot more of that now. There's actually some guys here in Charlotte may want to get you connected with that are they have like, I think they're on like their fifth or sixth concept now, but they kind of stick around this area. I think they got pop-up bagels. I think they're moving up to Raleigh with that too. But
Oh, oh, was it? Yeah, I just met one of the salespeople, I think, for them. But yeah, that'd be fantastic. I mean, we've got a couple that are in LOI in like DC area, and then the other closest would be, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, everything. But yeah, that's a fantastic area.
yeah, dude, you need to be in the Southeast. There's a lot of growth down here. A lot of growth.
Right.
Okay, well, talk about. So I'm curious. I don't know if this is for most people, they're probably not even thinking about this, or it's not on their radar. But what is your opinion about seed oils? Do y'all use seed oils, and are you concerned about seed oils, or you hear all this stuff about that? But
Yeah. Um, so I go by the data as well for that, and there's I'll start with answering what we do for it. So we don't cook with any seed oils. All of our we don't have any fryers, flat tops, grills, no grease in our kitchen. So it's a hoodless, ventless. Everything's cooked in combi ovens and rice cookers. So a
okay,
combi oven is basically just a big air fryer. An air fryer is high heat convection with high fan speed, and that's what our combi ovens do. So our ovens cook everything just basically air fried. So all of our proteins are air fried. All of our vegetables that are cooked are air fried, which allows us to not have to cook with any oils to get the texture that we're looking for, the flavor out of it. So we don't use any oils, any butters, anything added for cooking all of our proteins. We do have a couple of sauces that have seed oils, like our ranch has seed oil in it. At large scale, there's not that many great tasting um, brands that do seed oil free ranch, or some of those like a chimichurri, something like that. So I'm aware that it's a large trend. It's a lot of health conscious people are avoiding seed oils. I don't. I think that it's nice to just create that we don't need them for adding oils for our cooking process. But we do have a couple of sauces that have it, and it's not really a focus to have no seed oils, because I think it's overplayed as the problem. We're trying to simplify eating healthy, which starts with the macronutrients, and then you can get into micronutrients. We have a co-packer that started making some of our sauces for us. So uh, we have our entire menu is gluten free. And I don't even believe in like not eating gluten. So it's just available, and it was easy to do with our menu type. We only had to change two products and get our teriyaki sauce custom labeled to be seed oil free, or seed oil free. That one's seed oil free as well, but to get it gluten free. Uh, so I think if we can make it as easy as possible for all of these trends, then that's great. But I think that the seed oil thing is more of a trend than it is a data backed uh, problem in the average person's diet. So there's data that shows that it can be inflammatory, and then on the other side, there's lots of data that shows that seed oils are healthier for extending your life expectancy over butter. And then they make all the inflammatory thing about seed oils versus butter that everyone says use butter instead of seed oils is the low linoleic acid. And butter is one of the lowest linoleic acid cooking products. Yet butter is clearly shown to lower life expectancy when using it to for cooking processes. So I think that it's great if we could just do alternatives to seed oils whenever we have those co-packed items, but it's not a focus.
Got it. Makes sense. I mean, a lot of this stuff is just well, you said it's focus on the macros and moderation. I mean, if you're just frying everything you eat in seed oils all 3 times a day, that's probably not a good thing. But
Yeah, I mean, if you're still, I've told you those stats about the average American's consuming over 3,600 calories a day with less than 20 minutes of physical activity. It's like, I think that's the bigger problem to tackle than seed oils. I don't think that the average American, the average person that's overweight, obese, over consuming on calories, it's not because of seed oils.
no, I agree with that.
It's because they're under consuming on satiating protein, getting their food from whole foods. That's the big problem. And then if we can also do seed oil free, I mean, we have an alternative that's seed oil free for every single thing. So if
Yeah.
what do you have that's not got seed oils? I want the burrito bowl, but I don't like seed oils. So what can you do instead of ranch? We got you. So we have an option for everyone there, but I do not think that that's the problem at large scale in America with the average diet.
Nah, I mean, it really is a simple thing. Like we need to eat fewer calories and exercise more. But that's too simple. Because
That's
then it's like,
There's no such thing.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's doing the boring stuff consistently.
That's
So it's really I always teach people that they should overeat some more protein, watch your overall calories. You burn more calories than you're consuming, then you're going to lose weight. If you're eating more calories than you're burning, then you're going to gain weight. It's that simple. And no one's going against um, the science of that. What those calories are made up of, try to get it well balanced between your carbs, fats, and proteins. If you feel better doing low calorie or low carb or low fat or high carb, whatever, then do that. But most people or everyone needs high protein, and then you can customize those as you need based on how you feel. It's really just listen to your body. On the exercise side, I always teach people the most underrated exercise is walking. Walk more steps. The average person walks what is it like under 4,000 steps a day, and there's science backed that shows that if you walk 8,000 steps a day or more, the your life expectancy goes up 40% higher than if you were walk less than 4,000 steps a day. So it's that 8,000 step a day number can literally extend your life.
I think the important part of this, I'm sure you agree, is because, whether it's seed oils or walking or anything that shows an extension of life, it's an extension of life in a healthy way, right? Like walking a lot puts you in a position that, you're not spending the last 25 years of your life not able to walk and on a lot of medication and, just slowly withering away. I mean, that's what we do a lot, right, with our healthcare system now is we keep people alive through medication.
Yeah,
It's
the
like,
ultimate flex nowadays is to they say health is the new wealth, and it's being able to be 40, 50 years old and not on any medications.
yeah.
That's such a rarity these days. And the way to do that is well-balanced whole food meals and regular exercise. It's never going to change. It's that simple. it's just not that glamorous. It's not as easy as blaming something on seed oils or picking just an excuse. You got to focus on the basics, and then you can focus on optimizing for micronutrients and optimizing for whatever else makes you feel good, or less inflammation, or gluten-free. It's whatever. That's fine. But none of that really matters if you can't do the basics to
Yeah,
begin with
I
consistently.
mean, right. I mean, that's just like you're getting in. You need to get to a point where you can get into the margins, like the last 3% or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you even be thinking about that until you're there. Look, bro, I could not. I'm 51. I still do sprint training every week,
Nice.
twice a week. And my goal, I'll say this, and you're welcome to laugh because my whole family does and everybody tells. But my goal is when I'm 90. I want to win I want to set the world record for the 100-meter dash for a 90.
I've seen it. I've seen those. Those guys are fast still, though.
Freaking awesome, dude. I love
Wasn't
it.
there a 90-year-old that just did like an 11-second 100-meter sprint last year?
I saw it, dude. It's absurd. And that's my reason I'm like, I say 90 is because, I mean, I played sports and all that stuff, but I never ran track. I didn't start sprinting until I was like 45, I think. And I'm 51 now. Like really sprinting, like learning proper sprint mechanics and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Like, so, but I don't have like the muscle memory of like a college sprinter. So I'm like, yeah, but if I take good care of myself and live intentionally, then, there's not a lot of 90-year-olds sprinting. So maybe I'll be able to do it one day. But now I'm 51. I'm seeing these folks that are 90 today now that I'm like, dude, I don't even know if I could beat that guy now.
No, it's awesome. It's compounding returns on consistent effort.
Compounding returns on consistent effort. It's just like, God, dude, everything. Dollar cost averaging into the S&P for 30 years. Like, keep it simple, boring, execute, get out of your own way. Like,
It's
yeah,
not flashy, but it's just what we got to keep hammering home that message. That it's all about doing the basics consistently, and then you can optimize it once you could do those consistently.
nail the basics. Nail the basics. I love that, man. It's such a great philosophy. And that's true for any business or any domain in your life. No doubt about it. So I see a lot of books back there. Do you do a lot of reading?
Yeah, these are some of my favorite ones. So we have a book list for all of our staff too. I'll give $1 raise to anyone that reads 3 books from our list. So anyone entry level, they've worked for us for a week, whatever, they can get that raise. We'll pick the 3 books based on kind of whatever they're struggling with or whatever we need them to learn from. But those 9 books that are our core book list, they are the ones that have shaped our values and shaped our business principles. So yeah, I read a lot of other books as well. I've got this is just one of them, shelves behind me, but I have a bunch of other shelves collections. These are some of my favorites. The top shelf, like some of the most influential, and kind of in order of that.
I love that. What are some of you got 9, you don't have to list them all, but what are 2 or 3 of the ones on that list?
Oh man, it's tough to pick between them because they all have a different purpose. Um, Mindset by Dr.
Go to what?
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. That was one of the ones that was probably the most influential because a lot of your listeners are business owners.
The restaurant owners. Yeah.
So the mindset was probably the biggest to get me to think bigger. And there's a quote from Marcus Aurelius that it's, if anything is attainable by a man, it is attainable by you as well. And mindset, I never really believed that because I didn't have the experience, or I just wasn't the incredibly smart person in school, or didn't have those grades in school. But mindset taught me about the concept of neuroplasticity, that anybody can learn anything, and really just science back to that quote. So that was one of the ones that opened up my mind to think bigger in business and think about what's possible, and then just put in the work, the basics, the consistent effort to get there. And I've already accomplished more than what I originally thought that I was possible. And I'm 32 years old. So it's just with this consistency compounded over time, I can't wait to see what's possible. But that book's the one that opened up my mind to that possibility. So that's probably the biggest that shaped my mindset on just thinking bigger. Another one that a lot of business owners and just leaders within our business, or just franchise owners, or anybody at all trying to grow, is scared of making mistakes, scared of judgment, the fear of failure, which that's made worse through social media and everything, caring what other people think. And one of those books is called "The Obstacle Is the Way" by
Ryan Holiday.
Ryan
Yes.
Holiday. Yeah. So a big Robert Greene fan as well, and that's his protege. So I love psychology books, and that's a fantastic one to get you to realize that seek out mistakes. If you can seek out mistakes, then that's just something that you can find that problem before somebody else does. So it's just something else that you can solve. So I teach my team that's one of our values is there's no such thing as mistakes, just learning opportunities, as long as you learn from them. So that was one of the big ones on getting over the fear of failure in this pursuit of higher goals, and this what mindset opened up my thinking to was realizing that mistakes are not something to avoid; they're something to seek out, and that's okay. And then the next kind of series from that one would be extreme ownership. Um,
Jocko.
Jocko, um, that it's taking ownership over your own mistakes too. So admitting
Yeah.
as quickly as possible when you have one,
Yeah.
admitting it loud, taking ownership over anything that may not even be technically in your control, but it's still, if it's in your business, then it's your fault. And that's a fantastic one for anyone struggling with ego, leadership ego, entry level ego. That's usually one of the ones that makes the three that we pass along to anybody that's looking for that raise from reading the books. Um, then I'll just hit you with
Well,
one.
before you get to the next one, I want to talk about that one specifically because
Yeah.
that really hits home the way Jocko puts it, which is you want get rid of your and by the way, Ryan Holiday also wrote "Ego is the Enemy," so this is just in that same
Yes.
year of it's actually better to, as Jocko says, extreme ownership means literally extreme. Like I own that. I own that. That's on me. Because then it gives you the freedom to find the solution and not let that sit there as some problem. Like I always tell people I say the best 3 minutes on YouTube. I'll go to my grave saying this is the Jocko Good talk where he talks about, you know what I'm talking about?
Is it the good is the enemy of great? That
No, dude. You could look up Jocko Good. I mean, I'll put it this way: it's so good that I actually have a browser on this flip phone, which I don't use, but because it's hard to even what do you need a
yeah.
browser on a flip phone for? However, I was able to get that video on my browser, and I have it on my bookmarks. And so I can actually pull it up and watch it anytime I want. And I bet I watch it 3 or 4 days a week. It's essentially the idea that every problem that is presented to you, the auto response, and this is like a mindset piece of like really a growth mindset of training your mind to think this way and neuroplasticity. The auto response is good. This horrible thing, good.
Oh yeah.
Now
Yeah,
I
you
get to
have
own
that in the
that,
book too.
right? Like now I get to own that and I get to find the solution and I get to I mean, this is, dude, I mean, we're,
So the way that I word that one, that I kind of took from him or morphed our direction is um that we tell people that good, or that they're, I don't know, they're excited to find these mistakes, that it's they're happy when one comes up because it's just another opportunity to get better.
yes.
So any way that we teach that, I mean, it kind of stems from how he talks about good, like excited to find another problem.
Yep. That's a problem. Good. Let's go figure
Yeah.
this out. I love it. I want to hear the rest of them, but you mentioned Robert Greene too. So just a personal question. Do you like 33 strategies for war or 48 laws of power better?
48 Laws of Power is the OG, so I gotta go with that one. I like it because it was probably the one that got me. It's more nostalgic for me, in the timing that I read it in my life and learning um, human psychology. So that was a great one. And then I mean, there's the other OG of psychology is Dr. Robert Cialdini.
Okay.
So got to see him and Robert Greene both speak, and they were amazing. So Influence by Robert Cialdini. That's not on the list, but that's probably one of the best books of all time for psychology. I'd say those three were the most influential on getting me to love learning again and love reading. Those three are the mindset, 48 Laws of Power, and Influence. Those were the three best for those for me.
My copy of Influence looks like a crazy person owns it because I have so many dog-eared pages and notes, and I've read it so many times. That book, I was going to ask you if you've read that because I was going to recommend it. I'm not surprised you have.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Persuasion. That's another. For the ones on our list, I mean, since your listeners are restaurant owners, I'd be crazy to not mention these couple. There's Unreasonable Hospitality.
Yep.
Also seen Will Guidara speak, and he's brilliant, great speaker. So I'm part of this business group that there's about 60 of us, and I was only myself and one other person there. We're the only restaurant business people. The rest were other businesses. We had 6 speakers come in, and billionaires, whatever, and everyone's favorite was Will Guidara. It's Unreasonable Hospitality is applicable to all businesses, not just the
Great.
restaurant industry, but since your listeners, restaurant business owners specifically, it is probably the best book.
Yeah.
Especially the direction that everything's going through social media, AI, building communities. It's
Yeah.
that over the top service to the customer. And that's a fantastic one. And along those same lines, the kind of original book on that, it's much shorter, easier read, is Raving Fans.
Mm.
Um, Raving Fans is on that list too, of the same principle of Unreasonable Hospitality. What's the post sale value add thing that you can do to be over the top that the customer's not expecting? And
Yeah.
that's a great one for the listeners as well.
Go ahead and get through the rest of them. I want to hear the rest of these books.
Oh yeah, The Standard by Ben Newman.
Ah,
Just about holding a standard. This is the way we do it, and anything less than that is unacceptable. Atomic Habits for building those consistent efforts, compounded returns. That would be one. And then I think the last of these that I missed, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a classic for how to talk to people. And then the last one that we just added was Twin Thieves. Um, Twin Thieves. This is by Steve Jones and Lucas Jaden.
okay.
It talks about the fear of failure and the fear of judgment. So that's going to be pretty much recommended to all of the part of those three that are recommended to anyone looking for a raise. It's the entry level, low level management earlier on to that learning experience of management. Even experienced people in the industry can learn a lot from that. But it's a great story version book using real examples of a high school football team, and it takes one that was they were performing well, but they could just never quite win state. They could never get that high level. They didn't perform when it came to pressure time, but they were undefeated throughout the season, and it was because they were fearing failure and judgment. And it takes like a story style step-by-step process on how to implement and improve culture. So I think that's, if you're struggling with culture, everyone talks about culture is the most important thing.
Yes.
Struggling with the culture of your restaurants, consistency across the board, and just performing at the highest level during crunch time, that's the best book for it.
I
It's
just read
kind of
that.
a combination of mindset, extreme ownership, and the standard all together.
Twin Thieves was the name of that last book.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not familiar with that. I need to read that. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick read. I think that it's like on Audible, it's like 8 hours, and it's like 200 pages. It's a great one.
Okay. Do you listen to a lot of podcasts?
I hate them. I don't listen to podcasts. I watch podcasts. So like I watch a lot of them or listen to them while I'm watching, or like I still pull it up on my computer even if there's no video. So I don't know why, but I got to see a screen of it. But I do watch them while I do like I have a home gym, so I do a workout or run on a treadmill, something like that. Then I put them on, but I I don't like them for car rides and for while on a outdoor run because for some reason without a screen in front of my face, I can't focus on the the podcast or the Audible long enough. I get so distracted that I read physical copies of all books, and then
Yeah.
podcasts I can't listen to or watch them without like a screen in front of my face.
That's funny. Well, we'll put your video. I mean, we have them. We have some. Most of our listeners are audio. But we do put some of them up on our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
So
they're so popular. I think I'm definitely in the minority there. But we allow for that they can get that raise if they listen to it as well. We have discussions throughout the book, what they're
okay.
looking from it. Why do you think this one was assigned to you? That kind of thing. But yeah, that's another one that I learned from that mentor from Andy Frisella.
What podcast do you listen to or watch?
Oh, random. I follow a lot of business owners. So this Andy Frisella, he's one of them. He's have you heard of him or First Form?
I've heard of Andy Frisella. I mean, I know the
Yeah.
name.
Ed
Yeah.
Millette, he's another. They're both in the leaders of the business group that I'm in.
Okay.
Um, Cameron Haynes,
All
Alex
right.
Ramosi, Dan Martell, Diary of a CEO,
Yep. Diary of a CEO. That's a good one.
Lewis Howes, Chris Williamson, a lot of the big business ones.
Cameron's son Truett, didn't he set the world record for pull-ups?
Monster. He's done it twice, and then it just got it broken again. So he is now focusing on his on quick marathons. I think he just did like a 2 hour 26 marathon. He's dropped about 20 pounds and he's focused on that, but I think his pull-ups have gone up too. He did 52 consecutive pull-ups in one set.
That's absurd. I saw a picture of that dude running a marathon with shirtless with a pair of jeans on, which is like,
Yeah, he's famous for running them in jeans. It's nuts.
and he's like next to some dude who's all like decked out and all this marathon gear, and he's like flying by him. It's just freaking hilarious.
Yeah, they have a ruthless mindset. I really love the way that they talk so casually about it as well. It's just because of they're the ultimate example of compounding returns. They're very average people as defined by them that have become unaverage and above average because they're so consistent. They do the same thing nonstop throughout the year. They don't take breaks. They just have the most consistent mindset on what they do, just those few things. And that's how they have gotten so good at it, so successful at it.
But this is so this. I'm so glad we talked about this stuff because it comes back to this is a big part of what will make not just you all but your franchisees successful, right? Is like having the right mindset, being consistent, keeping it simple, following the playbook day after day, and being willing to have a quote boring thing that's literally what it takes. Like it may be boring in the moment, but 15 years later when you wake up and you're like, holy crap, like that's when it all makes sense. The challenge is getting people to understand that early on. Now your franchisees, you're gonna dial in all the right ones because multi-unit experienced, but then their team members and their employees that want to grow. And I mean, this is a great opportunity to really help the next generation understand success through what your mindset and the mentality that you're building this business with. I would think like we need more of that thinking. We're not getting it in schools. We're not, like we need business leaders to teach this stuff to the next generation. And if you're doing that and I love that you're giving these books out because as they learn, the ones that are curious like you may not have been the best students, whatever, but once you get the curious bug going and you start wanting to learn, there's nothing stopping you.
Get them to love learning again. That's the goal is just to love making mistakes, love learning from them, love reading, and just becoming voracious readers, learners. Like I think that's the key. I resented school, resented learning, um, because of some bad teachers, or I don't know, just because the way I hate being told what to do or what to learn, but I loved learning. So like I hadn't read a book for years, and then I joined the military, and while in deployment, there's so much downtime, so much extra time that I was just bored enough to start reading again. I started reading, fiction books, and read a few fiction books, and then I was like, all right, I kind of like reading again. I'm going to try some like investment books or business books, or, just self-improvement books. And since that point, over 10 years ago, I have never read another fiction book. All I read is nonfiction along those lines. And I just loved learning again. And I started reading at least a book a week. And now my minimum is, like a half hour a day of reading. And uh, I think it's just that consistency. I mean, you read that at least will get you one or two books a month if you're just doing a half hour a day of reading. It's not complicated. You don't need to sit down for 5 hours and read a book, half a book at a time. But yeah, I really rediscovered that love of learning, and then it clicked on the type of books I was reading when I started seeing results from it, and then now I've never gone back.
You wanted to learn on your own terms and not be told what to read or what to learn and when. That's a challenge we have with the education system is there is fear of failure because you're graded. And then like if you get a bad grade, there's a negative impact versus like embracing making mistakes, right? Like like, I
I
mean,
got all my welding certifications when I was going through welding school. Um, and I didn't get my degree because to get my degree, you had to take classes like astronomy and like random stupid art classes, things that I just did not care about. I was like, I'm learning to weld metal. Why do I need to learn astronomy? So I've dropped out of college 3 times because every time I've gone back to try, I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do when I grew up. I did, um, I was in the military. I was a firefighter, EMT, did scuba diving instructor, welding, college 3 times, dropped out each time because I was just trying to figure out what was going to click that I really enjoyed doing, and it was not learning astronomy or the random
yeah,
unrelated things that I was sick of being told what to learn.
I love it, dude. You have such a great, oh man, uh, wish we could hang out sometime, bro. I hope you get to the Carolinas at some point.
I'm a franchisee over there, and I'll visit for openings and real estate tours, all that stuff. So
I do have some guys. I'm going to ask them, I'll send them your website and see if they, I know they just signed that pop-up bagels deal for like 10 locations. So they're pretty dialed in right now, but they're always looking for, different audiences at different day parts, right? Like they're
yeah,
trying.
the good thing about our franchise is it's not competitive with a lot of other multi-unit operators, owners. It's not there's no conflict with the main parts.
Yeah. Oh man. What an enjoyable conversation, Trace. Thank you so much for taking time to come on here and share the story. I love what you're doing. I can't wait for y'all to get out this way. I will be a frequent customer. But more importantly, I just think you're a great dude, and I think you're an inspiring guy. And this podcast, we started this podcast 15 years ago, 2010. Nobody even knew what a freaking podcast was, and I was like, same deal.
That's consistent effort. That's awesome.
Consistent effort. I was listening to Tim Ferriss. Like I was like, this is cool. You can just talk to people and then put it out there. Like, how awesome is that? And so, um, we've been doing this for, a really long time. And just the goal was to educate and inspire people that are in the hospitality business, right? Like you learn from each other, share ideas, share wisdom. I mean, your book list is freaking. I guarantee you there will be people that will write down those books, go read those books, and probably build their own book list. So, like, huge
That's
action
awesome.
takeaway from this. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, I appreciate all the kind words, and thanks for having me. This is a great conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, all right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll put this on YouTube. So if you're watching, thank you for watching. And more episodes coming soon. We will see you. us.